It's the beginning of a new era, the dawn of a new day in Nashville. Will Levis has been named QB1 for the rest of the season. Get in here. Welcome to From the Cheap Seats. Hey, welcome, glad to have you. I'm your host, Bonafide, and this is From the Cheap Seats, the show where we preview and recap all of the action from the Tennessee Titans season. Every week, we're going to be previewing and recapping all of the game action. So we got a lot to talk about today, so let's not waste any time. So we're about to go on the road to Tampa Bay to play Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Yours truly will be at the game. And I'm going to try my hardest to go to all the Florida games because the Titans play all three of them in Florida. So we play in Tampa Bay. Next week we play Jacksonville. And then I think in December, right before Christmas, we play the Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to try to make it to all those games. Now, coinciding with the news that Will Levis is QB1, we look at the last game that the Bucs lost this past Sunday, and it was against a rookie QB, a very good one. By the name of C.J. Stroud. He went on to tie and set a few NFL records, rookie records against the Bucs defense. I think it was passer rating. I think he tied quarterback passer rating and touchdowns for a rookie. I think he had 5 of them in that game. Now, the Bucs have the same record as we do. They're 3-5. The only difference is that they're currently on a 4-game losing streak, and we're coming into town. Now the Bucs, Baker Mayfield withstanding, which is a surprise to some, is, because he's one of the only bright spots for the Buccaneers. They don't look like a really good team. The pass defense is last in the league. They don't really have a run game. So it's going to, it looks like, now I'll say this with a grain of salt. It looks like this should be a game that we should win. Now, this game is similar to how I felt about the Falcons game. It looks like a game on paper that we should win, but we got to play the game to see what happens. Now, this is going to heavily rely on us being able to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of us. You got seize the day. I think that used to be the Buccaneers old school theme or slogan is seize the day. We need to do that, matey. We got to take advantage of this weak pass defense. And we're going to have have the defense hit Baker Mayfield and get him off of his spots. Now, he's a tough SOB, as they say. So he can take some hits. He's got a little bit more mobility, but he is prone to make mistakes with the ball. So if we want to have a chance in this game, we're going to have to affect the quarterback, and we're also going to have to attack this defense with the pass. I'm hoping that the mini bye allowed us, we played on Thursday night, so we kind of got a little longer rest. Hoping that's allowed us to get a little bit healthy, things like that, because that Steelers game, we were rotating offensive linemen like they were security guards at a Beyonce concert. They just kept rolling in. We're gonna chalk that L. That metaphor is a L. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. We're gonna be better next time. But I'm interested to see what the offensive line is gonna look like because Brunskill is dinged up and he's not practicing. NPF is out, they say, for the season with a shoulder injury. And I think they're gonna try Dillard out there. Man, I never in a million years that I think that I would be upset that we don't have Dennis Daly anymore. Because somehow, some way, Andre Dillard is worse at the left tackle position than Dennis Daly. That blows my mind. I cannot comprehend it. And that's a shame because I think Dylan Radins has done enough when he's been given the opportunities to actually play some left tackle or something. So yeah, it's just, I don't get this part, I would figure that you would try to put your best players out there and, continue to try Andre Dillard out there. Ain't it. There was one play where Alex Highsmith from the Steelers had already taken 2 steps before Andre Dillard even got out of the stands. So yeah, whatever. Next segment, who's in and who's out. The injury report is looking more and more like a CVS receipt as the days go by. Aziz, Brunskill, SMB, Gibbons, Gifford, and Will Levis, yes, Will Levis, were all on the injury report. Now, Will Levis and Roger McCreary, who was on it for a couple of weeks, they both were full participants. So, it could have just been putting them on there. Burks and Hubbard are still in concussion protocol. We're not going to see Burks. He's probably going to be done for this game. But Hubbard, he did some limited practice, so he might be able to make it off the list in time. Usually I guess the running thing is that, hey, you stay off the field for a week and then see how you feel, and then you can come back. So hopefully Hubbard comes back because we definitely need his play on that right tackle side. So I started off the video with the dawn of a new era. So like I mentioned it before, Will Levis was named the starting quarterback moving forward. Now, before that announcement came out on Tuesday, there was a lot of rigmarole about going on because, Mike Vrabel. He wasn't trying to show the cards or anything like that. So we literally didn't know if Ryan Tannehill was coming back as a starter because he was healthy over Will Levis. Now, it was a back and forth, but finally he came out on the podium and he said, hey, Will Levis is a starter moving forward. He liked some of the things that he did. And I think about it, like there was a clips that A to Z played. You got to go back and watch some of their older streams that they played a video of Mike Keith talking to Mike Vrabel about the whole switch at quarterback. And Mike was like sincerely emotional. Like, he couldn't even look at the camera. He just kind of, tried to say the best thing. I get it. You get stuck with players, and Mike was a loyal guy, but he made the right decision whether or not he felt in his gut that it was the right decision, because Will Levis had outplayed Ryan Tannehill and he had only been here in 2 games. So you can't say that you're about winning games and then try Ryan Tannehill back out there knowing that he's not going to give you the same level of performance and or play that you got out of Will Levis in basically 2 games of NFL action. So he made the right decision. So now the focus now is on developing Will Levis into that quarterback we know that he can be. Let's see what he can do in this game up against the Bucs, where some of their weaknesses become some of his strengths. Directly butt up against some of his strengths. They got a weak pass then because they're like I said, 32nd in the league, and Will has a good arm. He's got some weapons on the outside. We got Hopkins, we got Moore, we got NWI. It looks like he's setting up a really good connection with Phillips. Phillips talked about that in the pressers with the beat reporters, saying that him and Will worked outside of practice a couple of times, which is interesting. After a couple of practices, he was there to throw the ball and catch. So he seems to be building up that connection. Phillips has really been doing a good job these past couple of games. Also, on the defensive side, Christian Fulton locking players up. So, what we're doing is kind of rounding in the form. Now, honestly, we got everything that we need in a franchise quarterback in Will. Like, let's see what he can do for the rest of the season. Let's see how can he stack games, and then let's see if he can make these improvements in the games, like the short pass yard. And what I think is why I'm so optimistic about it, obviously, we all got Titans rose-colored glasses on. But the reason why I'm optimistic about Will is because Will speaks about it in the press conference, saying, hey, I have to be better. Now, he's a rookie, so he's probably happy, but at least we see that, hey, I missed some things in the short passing game. I missed some things here. I'm working on that. So he's his biggest critic, and he's willing to say that out loud on what he did. Now, as time progresses, he gets more time in the media. He may not be that forthcoming, but I don't see that changing. But for right now, that's good to hear that he knows where he's making the mistakes, and he knows what he needs to fix. So, I want to see, he's got the pocket presence, he's got the arm, he's got the talents, but I want to see, can he link these things up together? Because really there's, he's got, Charles London is doing a great job of developing him. So I think, if he can keep the ball out of harm's way and push the ball down the field, it is it's gonna do us good. And the reason why I say this is that because the more reps that he gets and the more and more he looks like that franchise guy, that is the less and less we can focus on having to go find another quick QB in the draft. I don't think we were going to be able to get one, but now I'm sure as long as Will keeps developing, we won't need to pull another quarterback out the draft, because we would have found a franchise quarterback in the second round, which is still unbelievable to me that we found a franchise guy in the second round. Usually you don't get those guys after the first round, but we lucked up on it. I know some offensive coordinators and some head coaches and some GMs that are probably, second guessing themselves because Will Levis was right there and they let him go. So, and what I want to say before I wrap this up is that, having that franchise quarterback allows you to put legitimate weapons around him, build an offensive line around him, spend some money on some defensive linebackers and free agents to come help bolster this team. Now, at the beginning of the season, before we got DeAndre Hopkins, we were kind of down on the season, but look where the season has changed. Now we're looking at possibly having that rebuild going a lot quicker than we thought. It wouldn't be 2 to 3 years in purgatory. Now it looks like it's only going to be this season, and next season we may be able to contend because Will have one. He will have almost 10 games under his belt, so almost a full rookie season moving into that, and he will have the backing of the coaches and everything. So I think it is. Now, I know saying hindsight is 2020, but man, it's crazy. I gotta say it again. It's crazy that we potentially got our franchise quarterback for the future, at least the next 6-7 years, in the second round. Crazy. So I'm about to wrap this thing up. Hey man, I think with Levis officially in place at QB1, he's getting all the snaps, he's getting all the focus, all of the game film is focused on him where he can improve. So I expect to see some improvements in his game decision making. Like I said, let's see what he can do in a game where his strength should be on display against a weak pass defense. Now, honestly, a lot of this game is going to hinge on how the play of the offensive line goes. Can they block? Can they hold up? Can they open up lanes for running for Derrick Henry? Can they block long enough so that Will can push the ball down the field? And also, can this defense affect Baker Mayfield? Can they get, hits on the quarterback? You got to get these things worked out, and the season is getting closer and closer to a close. As you know, it's November now. We're 10 days into November. If we're going to make any kind of noise in the division, like I said, it's still, we win this game, we're 4-5, but we're kind of still in the hunt. Even if we're going to make a whimper, we got to fix this and see and it really starts with this game on Sunday. So here's my prediction. I think Will continues to show improvements, and I think he, especially with his decision making, I think he does a great job getting the ball, distributing it out. The offense looks more fluid, even more so than it did in that home game against the Falcons. I think Nuke and Derrick score TDs. I think Nick Folk, the folk hero, gets in on the action. And we win this game and go to 4-5, 24-17. So that's my prediction for the game. Now, tune in next episode where we're going to be recapping this whole game. I'm going to share some footage from the game, tailgates or whatever. And don't forget that we're doing our Road to 1K giveaway. We're over 500 subs, so I appreciate all my subs, everybody. I appreciate you. But make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, because that's one of the ways that you can possibly win your very own Oilers throwback jersey. And that will happen once we hit 1K. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And tell all your fellow Titans fans on all your social media platforms. Because like I always say, there's plenty of room in the section for us all. Until next time, tighten up.